Hello and welcome to the Daily Royal. My name is Shelby and I have been a royal watcher for the past 10 years. In this podcast, I talk about the daily events of 7 of the European monarchies. So I talk about Belgium, the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. I upload Monday through Friday with occasional bonus episodes here and there. Today we are going to be talking about all of the events from Friday, December 3rd through today, which is Monday, December 6th of 2021. So, it was a very quiet weekend. Also looks like it's going to be a really quiet week, at least at the beginning. Today was kinda-ish busy, but like not really. And everything else looks pretty slow as well. At least for the next couple of days. Things pick up a little bit on Wednesday, Thursday, but like not really. We'll see what that looks like going forward. So the plan still kind of remains the same. We'll do an episode today. We'll do an episode tomorrow. We'll do an Amalia episode focused on her 18th birthday, but also like Council of State that'll go up either on the 9th or the 10th, depending on what things look like day to day for the royal families. So if it's super busy on the 7th or on the 8th and 9th, we'll do an episode that goes up on the 9th that is regular, and then an episode that is Amalia specific goes up on the 9th. We're just gonna play this week, month by ear. I'm trying really hard not to commit to anything solely because things are kind of just changing right now. So that is the plan for now. Things can change because that is the way December goes. I'm still just glad we're still doing episodes. I put an episode up on December 1st of last year and then never again in December until the end of December. So, we're making progress. It's just slow going. But also things are busy. It's weird because things are slow right now, but then there's busy for the rest of the week-ish. But yeah, so we're going to get started with the Belgian royal family, and talk about the event that went on over there. Belgium. In Belgium, there was one event, and that was actually today. But before we get to that, I do want to say on Saturday, the Belgian royal household released a new photo of King Philippe and Queen Mathilde to mark their 22nd wedding anniversary. So they were married on December 4th of 2000? No, 99? Yes, 99. So they marked their 22nd wedding anniversary. The photo is amazing. You can go check it out on thedailyroyal.com. It's also on The Daily Royal on Instagram, so you can definitely go check it out there too. So love that. Also just very excited about we have in February, King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima are celebrating their 20th wedding anniversary. So I feel like that's going to be a big deal. I think that's the only one big anniversary coming up, but lots of big birthdays going on in the next couple of months, so that'll be exciting. Plus some jubilees and anniversaries. 2022 is gonna be an interesting year. But yeah, so anyway, this just kind of was the lead up and excitement to upcoming anniversaries. So that is what was going on Saturday, or that's what was released on Saturday. And then today, Queen Mathilde attended an event with UNICEF Belgium. So she is the honorary president of UNICEF Belgium, and she attended this meeting focused on poverty and childhood, very specifically. And she did this on, I'm not sure how much to talk about this. I probably won't talk about it too much simply because I don't understand enough of it. But today is Sinterklaas Day, not to be confused with Santa Claus. They are different, even though they sound very, very similar. But it is St. Nicholas Day, is December 6th. And so this is a sort of celebration of, it's a winter holiday celebration. Obviously it is not Christmas Day. That is a little bit different. But this is where children in Belgium and also the Netherlands received their gifts. At least I think this is what I've gotten out of it. There are shoes involved, which I remember as a child learning about the Dutch tradition of shoes for Christmas, like at Christmas time, where what I was told was Santa Claus, but it was not. It was Sinterklaas, which sounds exactly the same, but I swear is spelled differently. So anyway, the whole meeting was focused on how children of poverty experience this day differently than children of means, due to just resources available for these specific children. So that was a big topic of the conversation. And also just like it is coming up on the 75th anniversary, like maybe to the day of UNICEF. I know Queen Letizia has a UNICEF thing in a couple of days. So it's just the 75th anniversary year of UNICEF, which is the UN International Childhood Foundation organization within the UN focused on child rights. So anyway, that is what was going on today. Not a huge thing, but still something super duper important. Also learned about another culture's like holiday tradition, which I think is kind of fun. And like, okay, I am going to go into this just a little bit. So Sinterklaas is a person who now resides in Spain during the off season because it's warm there, apparently. I don't know. This is like the one article I read about it. But anyway, he arrives in Belgium like a month ahead of St. Nicholas Day, or like 3 weeks. So he arrived on November 13th. And over that 4-week period is when like the children are told to behave, because Sinterklaas has a list and he knows who's being well behaved or not well behaved. So that is that tradition. I think it's really, really cool. Also, I now just like have to mentally remember, I'll probably honestly put it in my calendar, to remember to watch the Sinterklaas arriving to Antwerp, which is in Belgium, next year. This is very similar to like the way Spain does Three Kings. It's super similar. They have a huge televised production kind of thing. I'm like, what? Maybe our Macy's Thanksgiving Parade is our televised production of like Santa Claus coming. I don't know. I don't know if we have like a time when the national world, like when the US just literally stops and all agrees collectively that Santa has arrived. Like I don't know, because he lives in the North Pole and that's what we think. So he only comes from his sleigh once on Christmas Eve. You guys, I have questions and now I'm questioning everything. Okay, well, anyway, I am going to continue on. We are not going to talk about the British royal family. So strangely, there have been no events from the British royal family in the past 4 days, which is weird. The only thing I will say, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet for reasons, mostly that my Apple Watch is broken and I can't listen to the Apple Fitness Plus thing for right now. And I haven't found it online yet. But the Duke of Cambridge released a like time to walk fitness thing on Apple Fitness Plus, which is their platform for exercise programs. And it's essentially a podcast talking about walking and mental health. And so William did this to have some rather good donations go to mental health charities that he has supported, including Give Us a Shout, which is the crisis text line in the UK, and some others as well. But I haven't listened to it. I've read some like excerpts of it, but I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. I'm actually deeply, deeply sad about it. I have made no secret of this. I am a huge Apple fangirl. Everything I own technology-wise is Apple. And I have an Apple Watch, and I love my Apple Watch. And my Apple Watch stopped working the other day, which is really, really sad. So it's on its way to go see the Apple doctors to see if it'll get better. And if not, I will probably buy a new Apple Watch, which is also sad because this one isn't even a year old. But yeah, it's fine. So hopefully I will get to listen to that in the coming days. I know it's streaming on Apple Music One. I just never listened to it today, so hopefully I can find it again. Or if not, I'll have to wait for my Apple Watch to come out or someone to, illegally upload it to somewhere. We'll find out what happens first. So anyway, that is what the big thing was in the UK over the weekend. So now we are going to move over to the Danish royal family. Denmark. In Denmark, there were just a couple of events, so one on Friday, one today. Yeah, not a whole lot going on, as is going to be the case. So we are kind of in this weird zone where it's like there are spurts of things, but also things are slowing way down because of now two things, right? One, it's December, which is just a typically slower time in general. And two, the pandemic is ramping way up beyond, I think, what anybody originally anticipated. So here we are. Things are just really slow. So, like, I expect more cancellations and stuff over the next couple of weeks. But anyway, so on Friday, Crown Prince Frederik and Crown Princess Mary had a meeting with the president of the the Court of Human Rights, who is on an official visit to Denmark. So that is really all that was shared about the meeting, just like they met. There were also some ministers for justice present, so probably the Danish Minister for Justice was there as well. So that's what was going on there. So that's a big thing. But then today, Crown Prince Frederik attended the countdown to the State of Green 2030. It was an event for State of Green, which is an organization, a private-public partnership within Denmark focused on global climate and environmental challenges. So Frederik has been patron of State of Green since 2008. So if that tells you anything, so that's when like Denmark just like widely accepted climate change as a huge problem and started really making the changes that they needed to make, which is obviously a huge deal. Also, like 2008, while it feels like not that long ago to me because time is weird, like I remember 2008 very clearly, is 12 years ago, 12, 13, almost 14 years ago at this point, which is kind of crazy that that's possible. That's 14 years that Denmark has been doing this and like really trying to create green economy, green climate, by 2030, and like are on much more of a target than the world as a whole. So that's a huge deal. So he gave a speech talking about those focuses. So that's what was going on in Denmark. They have kind of a weird setup too, of course. Every country is just kind of weird this week. Like, I think Denmark is a little heavier in the beginning, whereas like other people are really heavy in the end. And then you have Norway, where Crown Prince Haakon is on like a trip. It's just a weird week to be covering all of this. Plus you have Amalia's 18th birthday tomorrow, which is like a huge deal. I don't know. There's just like a lot happening, which is bizarre. So anyway, that's what was going on over the past 4 days in Denmark. We will see what the rest of the week brings us. Like I said, they have some things going on. Also, they have adjusted their calendar a little bit. It's still not perfect, but like I can now scroll through and see what's going on each day, which is, way better than we were a couple days ago. So that's fantastic. So with that, we are going to go ahead and move over to the Dutch royal family. The Netherlands. In the Netherlands, it has been exceptionally quiet. Well, kind of. From the people I talk about, it has been exceptionally quiet. There was an event today for King Willem-Alexander, but before we jump into that too much, I do just want to say King Willem-Alexander's mother, Princess Beatrix, who is the former queen of the Netherlands, did receive a COVID diagnosis. I think that news came out on Saturday, that she is now in isolation, and anyone who has had close contact with her has been notified, and is, proceeding with medical and government procedure for exposure to COVID. It sucks. It's scary. We do know for sure that she has been vaccinated because she was recently traveling on an official visit to Curacao, which I never really talked about because I don't talk about Princess Beatrix in this podcast. But she had a QR code for her vaccinations. So she has been vaccinated. So that's really good. But again, a vaccination, and this is where I'm going to preface, I am not a doctor. However, I believe strongly in vaccinations. I am vaccinated. I am getting I'm finally getting my booster. Either on Sunday or in a week. I still haven't decided which brand of booster to get. So one of those 2 days I am getting vaccinated. But I am scheduled for them. I'm only going to get one. I just don't know which one I'm going to get yet, and I need to make a decision soon so I can cancel the appointment I'm not going to keep. But I am super pro-vaccination against COVID and all things. And so, this is just the reminder that vaccinations are not complete and total 100% immunity, but they are certainly helpful when you do receive a diagnosis. So in King Willem-Alexander's event today, afterwards or beforehand, I don't quite know, I think he was asked about his mother's health, and he said she was doing as well as she could be, given that she is 83 with COVID. That's mildly terrifying, but also she is vaccinated and should be, in all hopes, fine. But just sending best wishes of health to her. But then also today, King Willem-Alexander had an event that was with the Heart Foundation, launching, I guess, or inaugurating, I'm not entirely sure what the appropriate word is to use for this, but a national volunteer network of people who are trained in CPR and AED, which is arterial electric defibrillator, that's a word I can't say. Yep. I literally just had this training the other day too. Yep. So that's a word that I just can't say. Defibrillation. There we go. I got it. I just can't think about it too much. Which is the like electronic machine that provides shock if you need it during CPR. So that's really cool. So this is like a space where thousands of people have now been trained to do this and can have a response time that is relatively quickly, way faster than like an ambulance can, which is great. So that was a big win. So King Willem-Alexander was inaugurating that event. Now, we're going to talk about all of this kind of in conjecture tomorrow because, well, not really, but in the Amalia special episode, because tomorrow is her 18th birthday as I'm recording this. As you are listening to it, it is her 18th birthday. There aren't any official things to my knowledge planned for today, but there are some official things going on Wednesday, which is her introduction to the Council of State, which she automatically becomes a member of the day she turns 18, which is obviously a huge deal. And so I am unsure of what to anticipate. Today they did put out like a few photos of when she was younger, including some newer ones, like one with their new dog, who is just the cutest little dog. But like that's kind of where we're at now. I do expect some really nice new official photos tomorrow on her birthday. I could be wrong, but it's just an expectation I have. And then we'll have all of the events on Wednesday for her introduction to the Council of State. So anyway, that is what's upcoming for the Dutch royal family. So now we are going to move over to Norway. Norway. In Norway, things were really interesting. So I am subscribed to like the news, the press emails, the news subscription kind of thing from the Norwegian royal household, and I didn't know anything about this until yesterday, and even then it seems like it's maybe changed a little bit. So Crown Prince Haakon is currently on a potentially 4-day trip to the US. He's in New York right now, and is supposedly scheduled to be in DC Wednesday and Thursday. I'm not sure how much of this will actually take place given where like the US is with the pandemic and all. But I did not know about this until yesterday, which is fascinating. It's fine. It's just, I like to know when they're in the same country as me. It's fun. It doesn't happen all the time, especially lately. So, anyway, that's a great, exciting deal. But anyway, today he was visiting the United Nations. So he had a meeting with the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, and then he also did a lot of work with visiting the Security Council. So Norway has been awarded one of I think there's 5, rotating seats on the UN Security Council that Norway has been awarded one, and will be taking on a presidency in January of the Security Council, which is a big deal. So he was doing some work with that. He met with the UN Development Program's staff and leader, which is an organization within the UN, obviously, that he is an ambassador for. I think his official title is ambassador for UNDP. So that was happening. And then he also did a service medal award to a veteran from Norway, who I think now lives in New York, and received that at the Norwegian consulate. So that's a really big deal. They didn't put out a whole lot about the agenda, which is why I'm like very confused. They also had Crown Princess Meta Marit attending, but she wasn't there today. I'm not sure if she's coming later or if just her part of the trip got canceled, which is completely understandable given the pandemic situation. Also, literally at the end of this week is the Nobels, and Norway is doing a full Nobel Peace Prize. So Sweden is not. Sweden is not doing the Nobel Prize as we know it. They are doing something, but like Friday is the Nobel Peace Prize, and they are... Anyway, I just think jet lag when I see things like this, because that's a long travel. I'm sure they're used to it. I am not, obviously. But that is a little bit about what was going on for Crown Prince Haakon, and then I kind of did this out of order, but today also Queen Sonja and Crown Princess Mette Marit attended a funeral, which is not something I would typically maybe talk about, because when I saw this, I was really confused about, like, why this was such a big thing. Well, then I read a little bit more, and so today they attended a state funeral of Kim Friele, or Friel, who is a woman gay rights activist, and who has been deemed one of the first public lesbians in Norway. Surely they existed before the early 70s. I am confident of this. However, she is the first public lesbian to stand up for gay rights, because Norway had a criminalization law that was repealed due to a lot of her work. They also, Norway's psychiatric organization, used homosexuality as a psychiatric disorder for diagnosing and criminalizing homosexual behavior, which is abhorrent, like absolutely disgusting. And so she did like a lot of work to change that and make it more acceptable, and now Norway is like one of the most progressive countries in the world, so much so that the royal family is attending this funeral. Kim Friel had been awarded the Order of St. Olaf, which is one of the highest orders you can receive in Norway, so that's a huge deal. Crown Princess Mette Marit was wearing a rainbow flag pin today. Like, Norway is just fine. You know, they are very accepting, they are fine, they are like where they need to be. But I just, you know, it didn't used to be like that. Less than 50 years ago, it was a criminal act, and that boggles my mind. Boggles my mind. And so I just thought that that was like really, really important. I love that this was a state funeral as well. So like, the state paid for it. The Norwegian government paid for this funeral. It was attended by members of the royal family. It was attended by the prime minister. Like, what? What an amazing honor. Like, to be an adult and be illegal just for being who you are. To having a funeral paid for by your government because of your contribution is just amazing. And so that was like my piece of good today. Obviously it is very sad that she has passed, but like, what a redemption story. It was just something that was really, really nice. So anyway, that is what was going on in Norway today. So now we are going to move over to the Spanish royal family. Spain. In Spain, the only thing going on were the Friday events in Colombia for King Felipe. So, refresher, King Felipe was in Colombia for 3 days. Well, really just 2. He arrived in the evening on the first day to attend the World Jurist Association World Law Congress and deliver the 2021 World Peace and Liberty Prize from that association. So this is an award that he won in 2019. Ruth Bader Ginsburg won this award in 2020, which is apparently going to make me cry. Anyway, and today, Friday, the president of Colombia, Ivan Duque, was presented with the award from King Felipe. I think they also announced that the next winner is going to be Angela Merkel, which does not shock me whatsoever. I don't know if this is something that they're bringing back on an annual thing, because, this is an award that wasn't given out for a very long time, and when it was very, specific. So, Winston Churchill has won this award, and that was in, the 50s or the 60s. This award, it went from the 70s or so to King Felipe in 2019, so, I'm not sure what's going on, and now they've had a winner every year since. So I'm a little confused, but we're dealing with it. Anyway, so, that is what he was doing on Friday, was delivering that award. So he attended the closing conference and delivered the award to the Colombian president. He also attended the lunch afterwards and then made his way back to Madrid. So it was a much shorter day too. There weren't a ton of events. There was nothing extra. I know I had said if there's anything more from the first day, we'll talk about it, but there wasn't. The last thing was the reception. So that's where we were at there. But yeah, and then Spain has been quiet since. They are taking, they don't have events till Wednesday or Thursday, either one of them. Their first day to work is not till Wednesday or Thursday this week, which is fine. I know that they tend to work up until right before Christmas, because from Christmas on to January 6th, they are completely on a break, because Spain does a lot of their Christmas celebration on January 6th-ish, so that's just a little bit different. So they are going straight until the week of Christmas, is to my knowledge at least. But take a break. It's all good. So anyway, that is what was going on in Spain. So now we are going to move over to the Swedish royal family. Sweden. In Sweden, it's been an interesting kind of few days, as with everywhere. But specifically in Sweden, it's been this weird, I can't believe this is actually happening kind of thing. So we'll start with Friday. On Friday, Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel attended the 125th anniversary celebration of the Royal Lawn Tennis Association that was initially started by Crown Prince Gustav, who later became Gustav V, who started this tennis association. And so today was the celebration of, or Friday, I should say, was the celebration of the anniversary of that. So that looked like a fun little event. And then I fully expected this event to get canceled, and it just didn't, and it's happening. But Crown Princess Victoria started a 3-day trip to France that started yesterday on Sunday, the 5th, has continued through today, and I think is also tomorrow as well. And so the only thing that I will say on this, and I think what I'm going to do about this trip is do a wrap up from it on the 7th or the 8th, because of just the Swedish royal household just not really updating on things until the day after. So, like, there were events today. I don't know what they are. I do know what the events were on Sunday, but I just think it's more fun to do comprehensive coverage of things like this, especially if the household is being slow on details. I think it's a cool way to do that. So that's what I'm going to do there. Also, just time on this episode in all reality. But yeah, so I'm shocked that it's happening. She's in a face mask a lot more than I've seen her be in the whole 2 years of this pandemic. So, that's kind of cool. Reminder, Sweden just didn't have a lot of restrictions. Like, they just didn't. Whatever, it's fine. So anyway, she's in France, doing some, like, Swedish-France partnership stuff, which we'll talk about on probably Wednesday. So anyway, that is what was going on there. Let's see. Oh yeah. Today, King Carl Gustaf held a meeting with the speakers of the House and Senate for Belgium. So those two are on a official visit to Sweden at the invitation of the Speaker of the Riksdag, to, I don't know, just do like a government exchange kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but that happened. Yeah, just lots of things going forward. Please check out all of my spaces. So The Daily Royal, thedailyroyal.com, The Daily Royal on Instagram, I should say. Shop The Daily Royal on Etsy. And yeah, like and review this podcast wherever you're listening to it. Sorry, my dog just got like very excited and distracted me. But like and review this podcast wherever you are listening, and I will talk to you all in the next episode. Have a fantastic day. Bye.